Gentlemen, I want us to talk about something most men only think about but never say out loud. Have you ever caught yourself wondering how those guys in adult films look so massive? Or why your urine sometimes sprays in two directions instead of going straight? Maybe you've asked yourself why you lose your erection the moment you start overthinking during intimacy. If you've asked any of these questions, you're not alone. In fact, these are three of the most common concerns men whisper about but rarely feel comfortable bringing up, even with their doctors. Well, today we're breaking the silence. I am Dr. Julia Rhodes, and as a men's sex therapist who's worked with thousands of men over 60, I can tell you this. Every single one of these issues is common, fixable, and absolutely nothing to be ashamed of. So let's talk about them like grown men, honestly, directly, and without the embarrassment. And listen to this. Most men believe if they lose an erection, something is permanently wrong with their body. That's not true. In fact, a large percentage of men who struggle with erections aren't dealing with a physical problem at all. It's psychological. It's called psychogenic erectile dysfunction. The first time your erection falters, it surprises you. The second time, you anticipate it. By the third time, you're so nervous about staying hard that your body shifts into fight or flight mode. Think about that. When you're in survival mode, your body prioritizes blood flow to your muscles and brain, not your genitals. Biologically, your nervous system is telling your penis, this isn't a safe time for sex. And just like that, the erection fades. This isn't weakness. It's not some unchangeable flaw. It's your brain taking control over your body. But that power can be taken back. The cycle can end. Now, let me break down the three most common concerns men bring to me one by one. The first one is getting stuck in your head during sex. We've all been there. You want to perform. You want to please your partner. But the more you think about it, the less your body cooperates. The physiological truth is this. Erections depend on the parasympathetic nervous system, the rest and digest mode. Anxiety flips you into the sympathetic nervous system, the fight or flight mode. Those two systems can't dominate at the same time. If anxiety wins, arousal loses. Emotionally, this can feel devastating. You may start avoiding intimacy, making excuses, or feeling like you've lost your masculinity. The practical approach is straightforward. Remove the pressure, focus on touch, kissing, and intimacy without penetration. Gradually reintroduce sexual activity once confidence rebuilds. Some men benefit from a short-term prescription of low-dose tadalafil, which doesn't create desire, but can help maintain an erection while you retrain your mind and body. And truth is, sex is about connection, not performance. Once you understand that, the anxiety starts to fade. Which brings me to the second concern, comparing yourself to what you see on screen. Most men at some point have compared themselves to what they see in adult films. But here's the reality. Those films are not biology. They're business. The average erect penis globally is 5.4 inches. About 99% of men fall between 4.3 and 7.2 inches. So why do performers look so huge? First, selection bias. Only men with above average size are cast. Second, camera tricks. Angles, lighting, and editing exaggerate appearance. But here's where it gets interesting. Some performers use medical aids, vacuum pumps before filming to temporarily increase size. Traction devices over time for modest gains. In some cases, temporary dermal fillers to add girth. Medications like sildenafil or tadalafil are sometimes used before shoots to guarantee stamina. And in rare cases, penile implants, not for size but for function, allow them to control erections at will. Now, here's what you need to understand. Biologically, your size has little to do with your ability to satisfy a partner. What matters most? Blood flow, confidence, and attentiveness. Emotionally, constantly comparing yourself chips away at self-esteem. It's like comparing your Sunday jog to the Olympics. It's just not the same playing field. At the end of the day, the men who satisfy their partners aren't the ones with the biggest size. They're the ones with the most presence, patience, and genuine attention. And that, gentlemen, is something you already have. Now, let's tackle the third concern, the split urine stream. Ever stood at the toilet only to have your stream split into two directions? Hit the wall, the floor, maybe even your socks? Embarrassing? Yes, but also worth understanding. Let me explain that further. The urethra is like a hose. If there's dried semen or mucus at the tip, it can temporarily block the opening. After ejaculation, residual fluid can linger, causing a split stream for the next 1 or 2 urinations. That's normal and temporary. But here's where it gets more concerning. If you notice a weak flow, hesitancy, dribbling, or frequent nighttime urination, those could be signs of benign prostatic hyperplasia, BPH, and enlarged prostate. Or it could indicate urethral strictures where scarring narrows the passage. Emotionally, many men don't talk about this because they think it's just aging. But practically, these are signs worth getting checked. Simple fix? Try sitting to urinate, especially first thing in the morning. In many European countries, this is common and makes the process more comfortable and cleaner. If symptoms persist, track them. Note changes in stream, frequency, or urgency. See a urologist. BPH has effective treatments, and catching it early makes a huge difference. So how do we turn all this information into practical action? For psychogenic ED, rule out medical causes with a basic checkup. Reduce anxiety by focusing on intimacy, not penetration. Consider therapy or counseling to break the mental loop. Use low-dose tadalafil as a short-term safety net, if needed. For size concerns, stop comparing yourself to unrealistic standards. Focus on fitness, circulation, and stamina. What's good for your arteries is good for your erections. If interested, traction devices can produce modest improvements over time, but surgery carries risks and is not recommended for most men. For split stream or prostate symptoms, stay hydrated and empty your bladder fully. Track your urinary symptoms. If they persist, see a urologist. I actually covered prostate health in depth in last week's newsletter, including nutrition strategies and supplements that support urinary flow and reduce inflammation. If you're not subscribed, links in the description. Let me take a moment to share something equally important. If you've struggled with erections, worried about your size, or felt embarrassed by urinary changes, you are not broken. You are not less of a man. Every one of these issues is common. They're not signs of weakness. They're signs that your body is asking for care, attention, and understanding. Gentlemen, age is not the end of vitality. Small, consistent changes, checking your health, improving your circulation, breaking the cycle of anxiety, supporting your prostate, these can bring back comfort, freedom, and confidence. Your body is adaptable, your mind is resilient, and your masculinity is not measured by inches, by streams, or by performance. It's measured by your willingness to care for yourself and connect with others authentically. So here's my question for you. Which of these 3 concerns resonated most with you? drop it in the comments. I read everyone. And if you want the complete guide to male vitality after 60, including strategies for performance anxiety, circulation optimization, and prostate health, join my free newsletter. Every week, I share what actually works. Links in the description. Remember, you're not alone in this, and you're definitely not broken. I am Dr. Julia Rhodes, and I'll see you in the next one.